Children, whenever you enter a garden, the most beautiful thing that attracts you is a flower. So today we'll study about structure of flower and flower dissection. Generally, a plant has two parts: vegetative parts and reproductive parts. Roots, stem, leaves, branches, they all are called as vegetative parts of a plant. Flower is called as the reproductive part of a plant. It is because it contains male and female reproductive parts. A flower on maturation forms fruit. Now we'll study about the structure of a typical flower. Generally, a flower has four whorls: sepals, petals, stamens, and pistil. The first whorl is sepals. It is generally green in color and protects the flower in bud condition. Next whorl is of petals. Petals are the most attractive and colorful part of a flower. Some flowers are scented also. Features like distinct smell and color help pollinators to attract towards them. Next whorl of a flower is stamen. Stamen is the male reproductive part of a flower. And the last whorl of a flower is pistil. Pistil is the female reproductive part of a flower. Now children, I'll tell you how to draw a flower. So let's start. First of all, draw the petals of a flower. Once the petals have been done, now draw the sepals. The green part of the flower is the sepals. Then at the center, draw the female reproductive part of the plant called as pistil. At the end, draw the male reproductive part of the plant called as stamen. So it is sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. Stamen has two parts. The lower one is filament and the upper one is called anther. Anther carries pollen grains and filament hangs the anther. Next is pistil. The uppermost part of the pistil is called as stigma. Stigma secretes certain sticky substance and this sticky substance helps to attach pollen grains towards it. So here these are the pollen grains which are attached towards the stigma. Pollen grains are very lightweight and they are easily dispersed by wind, water, rain, animals, etc. From the stigma, a long tube-like structure comes out. This structure is called as style. Style carries pollen grains from stigma to the ovary. Inside the ovary, there can be one to many ball-like structures. These ball-like structures are called as ovules. These are the ovules in the ovary. Pollen grains, after reaching the ovary, fuse with these ovules and form seeds. So we can say that after maturation of a flower, sepals, petals and stamens generally shed off. Ovary forms fruit and ovules are converted into seeds. A fruit can have one to many seeds. Children, you might be thinking how pollen grains are transferred from one flower to another. Anther contain pollen grains. These pollen grains are easily dispersed to the stigma of another flower. The various agents are wind, water, animals, etc. This transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of another flower or same flower is called as pollination. Pollination can be within the same flower or two different flowers of same kind. Now let's start the most interesting part, flower dissection. The flower I have chosen for dissection is hibiscus. It is also called China rose or gudhal. First of all, hold the flower carefully and put a small cut on sepals. Then slowly remove the outermost whorl of the flower called as sepals. While doing so, do not pull the stalk of the flower. These are the sepals removed out from the flower. Now slowly and carefully remove the next whorl of the flower called as petals. Some varieties of hibiscus have large number of petals, but here I have chosen the hibiscus with only 5 petals. One by one I am removing all the 5 petals of the flower. You can see here these are the 5 petals of the hibiscus flower arranged in a particular manner. And these are the 5 sepals of the flower. Now we have this central portion which was present in the flower. Now we will dissect this portion. Here you can see there are large number of stamens which are surrounding the pistil. So first of all we have to dissect out this outermost covering of stamens. See here, with the help of pencil, very carefully and slowly I am removing the whorl of stamens. Be careful while doing so because it is the most typical part of the flower dissection. See, these are the stamens attached with the tube that surrounds the pistil. See, I am removing the stamens very carefully. There is a very thin pipe-like structure. This is the style. While dissecting, take care that you should not break the style. This is the pistil of the flower. Now you can see here, these are the 5 petals of the flower. These are the sepals. Then next is stamens. Stamens are present in large number. Stamen has an anther and filament. Stamen is attached to this tube-like structure that surrounds the pistil. This almost circular structure are the anther that contain pollen grain, and this stalk is called as filament. Here there are many stamens. Then pistil. This is the stigma. This long structure present at the center that looks like a tube, it is the style that carries pollen grain. And at the end, the swollen structure is the ovary of the flower. See here, this is the ovary of the flower. When you cut the ovary of the flower, you will see that there are very small rounded structures present inside the ovary. These ball-like structures are the ovules. They form seeds. Now this is all about structure of a complete flower and flower dissection. Thank you, children.